a new route has been opened on Cho Oyu, the sixth highest mountain on the planet. A Nepalese team led by Gelje Sherpa from AGA Adventures and former climbing with Nimsdai and also with Seven Summits, led a team of 7 climbers to the summit of Cho Oyu from the Nepalese side. What is so special about this? The last time Cho Oyu has been climbed from the Nepalese side was in 2009 by Denis Urubko and another member without bottled oxygen. And back then they climbed the very, very challenging southeast face of Cho Oyu, which is extremely hard, and just the best alpinists can climb that mountain from that side. Since COVID, it hasn't been possible to climb Cho Oyu from the Tibetan side because the Chinese authorities didn't give any permits to Western climbers or Nepalese climbers. So usually Cho Oyu is climbed from the Chinese side or the Tibetan side, and there, when you climb it from that side, it is to be more precise, it is the northwest ridge, exactly, or the northwest face. And people usually climb Cho Oyu from that side. And Cho Oyu from that side is usually considered to be one of the easier 8,000ers, if not the easiest 8,000er. It is not extremely high like the big 5, and also the climb from the northwest face, is quite simple. Obviously, climbing an 8,000er is hard with or without oxygen, but Cho Oyu really is considered to be the beginner 8,000er. But yeah, as I just said, since COVID, almost no one was able to climb Cho Oyu. The Chinese officials didn't allow any expeditions on the mountain, so Nepalese organizers and teams and Sherpas tried to find a way or a route to climb Cho Oyu from the Nepalese side. Gelje Sherpa, who finally was able to do it, who led the team of 7 people, including him, to the summit, tried a total amount of 4 times. He started in winter 2021, then again in fall 2022. Again, he tried in 2023, and they always had to turn around like 7,200 meters, 7,400 meters, 7,600 meters. There was even a Russian team, I think it was last year or maybe even 2 years ago, that tried without oxygen, but they were not able to do it because they also had to turn around at 7,600 meters. So yeah, it finally happened, and it's a huge game changer for the Nepalese community for expedition mountaineering on Cho Oyu. So I did some research and recreated on my map how they actually did it and how they were able to climb Cho Oyu from the Nepalese side along the southwest ridge. The problem I had was the map shown in the Instagram post of Gelje Sherpa. I couldn't really pinpoint it down how exactly they did it. I just had a clue what they did. And also, if you go onto Google Earth and if you zoom in into that region, because of the snow reflecting during the satellite imagery, it's very, very bright, and it is very, very hard to see. So what I did is I double-checked the Instagram post from Gelje Sherpa. I read into the reports of other expeditions that tried before. Then I pulled out my beautiful map of the Solukhumbu area, and I created the route, and I will just show you which approach they took, where their base camp was, from which side they approached, how they climbed exactly, and how they were able to pull it off. Maybe you remember from some of my videos, when I climbed Lhotse last year without oxygen, I went to the Cho Oyu base camp because I also wanted to take a look at the Nepalese side and at the south face of Cho Oyu. Some of you may already saw the video. If you didn't see it, maybe click on the link here, and then you can see how I'm running to the Cho Oyu base camp from Gokyo, and I will I'm filming the south face of the Cho Oyu, and you can see a close-up of the Cho Oyu face. What you can see here is a map I bought in Kathmandu from the Sagarmatha National Park. For example, here you can see the Khumbu Glacier, Gorakshep, Mount Everest, and the base camp. The Western Kum, for example, Lhotse, and for example, on this side, you have Makalu, the fourth highest mountain on the world. But yeah, if you go not into this valley, but if we go into this valley, you see the little town called Gokyo with the Gokyo lakes, and this glacier here leads all the way up to Cho Oyu. What you can see here is the Chinese and Nepalese border, and as you can see here, the summit of Cho Oyu is directly on the border, and usually Cho Oyu is summited from this side here. People go up this glacier, go along this way, and then reach the summit of Cho Oyu, which is probably the easiest way to climb Cho Oyu. The last time Cho Oyu was successfully climbed from the Nepalese side was in 2009. So in 2009, Denis Urubko, one of the best alpinists you can imagine at this time, climbed Cho Oyu on the south, let me think, east face, exactly. The southeast face is this one, yeah, and they did it on this route. There were other expeditions that were able to do it before that, in the 80s, I think, that climbed a little bit from this side. Let me show you. But yeah, there were some expeditions that were able to climb from this side. So they went up this glacier and then traversed over here. But Denis Urubko and his partner, they were actually able to climb this face directly. And let me tell you, this face, climbing this southeast face, is super hard. It's super challenging. It's extremely steep. It requires a lot of good climbing skills, and just the best alpinists in the world can actually climb this route. So yeah, if we take a look at Cho Oyu, you can see the southwest ridge, and this is the route they took. So you can see the glacier here. This is the way they came up, then along this side, and then here down to this glacier. So yeah, this is the actual route. I guess somewhere around here is where they had their base camp. Then they move up the glacier to here. Maybe they have camp 1 here or some kind of advanced camp. Go up the glacier here. I think they have camp 2 somewhere here on this glacier. Camp 3, I think, might be here on a plateau, which is quite huge. It's about 2 or 3 kilometers long and wide, I think. Even a plane could land up there. And then once you're at this huge plateau, you have to go up to this ridge, where it becomes quite challenging and the wind picks up. And then you have to climb this ridge. And the ridge is, yeah, quite technical. You have to do some traversing. There's a lot of avalanche risk. And then you're facing the Cho Oyu head wall, which is, again, a little bit challenging, quite technical, and yeah, not so easy to climb, but I'll get into more detail about that. But yeah, in the head wall, they found a nice little couloir that was filled with a lot of snow, and they were able to climb up the mountain through that couloir. They had to fight through the snow. They had to use all their remaining fixed ropes they had with them. And in the end, then you reach the summit plateau, a few more meters where you can climb unfixed without a rope. And then they were able to summit Cho Oyu on the 7th of June at around about 8:35 p.m. That is in the middle of the night, which is not the recommended time to reach a summit at that time. 7th of June is also a little bit tricky because the monsoon already started or can start during that time. So yeah, it took them, I think, a total of 17 hours. Yeah, they started early in the morning, or at night, you could say, and 8:35 was their summit time. So yeah, 17 hours of straight climbing. This opens the question, is Cho Oyu now accessible? Is it open in the next year? Can you climb Cho Oyu from the Nepalese side? Is it a commercial route? And how challenging is it? Will expedition organizers offer Cho Oyu from Nepal in the future? So as far as I understand it, Cho Oyu from the Nepalese side is now commercially possible. but it's quite challenging. It's not your standard mountain like Cho Oyu from the Tibetan side, or like even climbing Everest or Manaslu. Cho Oyu from the Nepalese side is possible for customers, is what they think, but it's quite challenging. It's quite risky. You have to do some traversing. The avalanche risk is quite high. You have to go through a glacier as well, and it is quite technical in the upper part, going along the ridge and then going up the couloir. So it's not going to be very easy, and probably not possible for every mountaineer, but yeah, I think if you are quite experienced, you can actually go with a Nepalese organizer in the future. I think they will probably organize and try this route in the upcoming years, every year again, and try to lead up commercial teams. And that way, I think they will gather more experience about the route, maybe find easier ways to manage some sections. They will have more material, more resources on the mountain. They will have the opportunity to install more fixed ropes and ladders and stuff like that. And this way, they will make the mountain or the summit more accessible from the Nepalese side. How can you rate this mountaineering achievement, which is actually groundbreaking for mountaineering in general? As some of you may already know that watch my channel regularly, I climb solo, I climb without oxygen, and I try to go as much as possible in a minimalistic, reduced alpine style. In the future, I would like to go more alpine as much as possible. So this is my approach to mountaineering, and even high 8,000 mountaineering. But in this expedition, they used ropes, they used oxygen, they used fixed ropes and a lot of material, which is totally fine. I think in general, it's a good thing. It's a nice achievement that they were finally able to manage it and to find a route on Cho Oyu. I've been looking for a route myself. I never been on the mountain myself, but I went close. I went to the base camp. I was analyzing and researching the south face myself, and I was thinking about a possible route. And actually, I had in mind to either climb Cho Oyu next year from the Nepalese side, to try it with a very small alpine team of just 2 or 3 people, or I'm thinking about going to Pakistan next year, but this is another topic. But yeah, I think it's a nice opportunity to finally try Cho Oyu again, to go along the southwest ridge. I think it's a nice route. I think it's a nice possibility to climb it that way. And yeah, I think it's a big achievement, and I'm looking forward to see how the route develops and how mountaineering on Cho Oyu from the Nepalese side develops in the future. But I would also be interested, how do you think about this achievement? Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? Are you interested in climbing 8,000 with yourself or Cho Oyu from the Nepalese side? Yeah, let me hear your opinion, what you think about this achievement. And yeah, I'm happy and looking forward to read your comments. If you want to know more about 8,000 and mountaineering, how it's possible, especially without oxygen or even solo, this is the way I climb. Yeah, you can just browse on my channel and see, for example, how I climbed Annapurna last year without oxygen, how I climbed Lhotse without oxygen 2 years ago, and also how I felt to climb the summit of Mount Everest also this year. So yeah, if you're interested in more 8,000er stuff, just browse through my channel, browse through the videos, and maybe you'll find something you like. All right, that's it from me. Talk to you. Bye bye.